It's Ash from Super Videos back for another teaser trailer breakdown for an upcoming episode of The Walking Dead. This is gonna be my teaser breakdown for the final bonus episode of Season 10 episode 22, which is the Negan backstory episode called Here's Negan. Now they did release another teaser earlier on Sunday night after the last episode ended, and I did my breakdown of that, but they released yet another one, which kind of makes sense because this is a pretty big episode and it's the final bonus episode, so it makes sense why they're hyping it up as much as they are. But with that said, we're gonna go through this teaser and I'm gonna be breaking it down, so stay tuned. We'll be right back to talk more about it. Alright, before we get into this, as always, if you're not a subscriber and enjoy the content by the end, consider subscribing to join our community, share and smash the like button and press the bell to be notified when we upload. With that, let's dive right into it. So the first shot in this teaser is actually this shot of Negan in front of the fireplace. We've seen this many times, and of course he has his leather jacket right on the chair. And as we will see later, he's actually going to hallucinate seeing his old self in the chair. So that's how that kind of comes together. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get there, but we've talked about this in every teaser that we've looked at when it comes to the Here's Negan episode. So I'm not going to really dive too deep into that because I've already discussed that in other videos. The next shot is again Negan in front of the fireplace, and then we get this shot which is a flashback of Negan and his first wife Lucille. Now if you look at Lucille, she's not doing too well, so this seems to be possibly the final moments of Lucille's life, because obviously if you don't know by now, Lucille has cancer and Negan is trying to keep her safe and giving her the medicine that she needs as the world is falling. And I'm sure that at some point that's going to be difficult to do, and it's going to be what may potentially lead to why Lucille may not end up getting what she needs and she may die as a result of it, which may in turn actually push Negan towards that darker direction that we know he's going to go towards. But in the voiceover, Lucille says you can't keep it up. If we need to move, we need other people. So it seems like Negan's strategy is to basically be by yourself, survive together, but Lucille believes that they need to find others and that they can't survive on their own. Negan responds by saying it's just too dangerous out there, so he's using that as an excuse, I would say, to not want to go out there into the new world and to see firsthand what the world has turned into. The next shot is this shot of Negan hugging Lucille in bed, and I'm sure this is going to be a pretty emotional scene between them. Then we get this shot of Negan throwing a glass at the chair. Obviously this is probably as a result of him seeing his old self and getting angry and not wanting to face his past, so this is probably a result of that. The next shot we have is this shot of Negan with a gas canister walking around, and in the background we have the text that says season finale, so season 10 finale or bonus episode season finale I would call it. Now what's interesting is how this parallels the pilot, because in the pilot it was actually Rick who is holding the gas canister, so it's interesting that they have those parallels in there. The next shot we have is this bird's eye view of what I'm assuming is the campsite where Negan and his wife are staying, or possibly a location that they go to for supplies. And then we have this shot of Negan running. This is obviously part of the flashback and he is holding a gun. And then we have this shot of Negan. This seems to be the campsite, like I said, and it seems like Negan is there to possibly get some supplies or maybe even get medicine for Lucille. This may even be where he comes face to face with that motorcycle gang, which we do see in other teasers and trailers and sneak peeks. The next shot is this shot of Lucille giving Negan a kiss, and then we have this shot of Negan approaching the fence. He's obviously going to be using that fence for the barbed wires. Negan cutting the barbed wires to use it to build Lucille. The next shot we have is this shot of Negan putting barbed wires around a bat. So like I've said before, this is the birth of Lucille the Bat, and this is where Negan begins building Lucille as we know it. The next shot we have is this shot of Negan kicking down a door. There seems to be a fire inside the building, and it seems like Negan is gonna burn that place down. Now this place may actually be the bar that we keep seeing in these teasers and trailers, and it's where he's most likely gonna encounter the motorcycle gang. And then we have this awesome shot of Negan holding the bat, Lucille in hand. And then we have this shot of Negan entering the bar that I mentioned. And then we have this pretty awesome shot of a tree with the frame hanging on the tree. Now, if you don't remember, this is actually the exact same place where Rick slit Negan's throat back in season 8, episode 16. So that's very interesting. And then we have this shot of Negan with what appears to be some sort of a stick in hand, but this is the exact same area. Now I'm assuming this may actually lead to the sneak peek that we saw, where we had Negan digging the ground and finding Lucille buried in the ground. And now thinking about it, what he's holding could be a shovel that he will use to dig the ground. Maybe Rick or Michonne or one of them buried Lucille right next to where Negan's throat was slit, so they didn't have to go far to bury it. Now, it's also possible that it could be around the tree but not exactly next to the tree, because in the sneak peek we actually don't see this tree right here. The next shot we have is this shot of Negan fighting off a walker, and he's obviously saved by Lucille. The next shot we have is actually Negan most likely pouring gasoline inside some sort of a building. Now this is the same exact gas canister that he was holding in the earlier shot. So we have him burning the building and then watching it burn to the ground. So that's pretty interesting. And I'm assuming this also connects to the shot of him kicking down a door with flames going everywhere and walking outside. Inside the same bar that we've been talking about. And there appears to be some sort of a gunfight because the glass shatters. So that's interesting. And then we have this shot of Negan with Lucille and barbed wires around it, pointing Lucille at someone. I'm assuming that the person he's pointing it towards is the bike gang dude that we saw in the sneak peek and the teasers, but I could obviously be wrong. And then we have this final shot of Negan with Lucille in hand, sitting in the chair, saying, little pig, let me in." This is obviously part of Negan's hallucination, so he's seeing his old self. Now, in terms of what this means, little pig, let me in, I already kind of talked about this in detail in my last breakdown, so go check it out if you're interested. But in summary, it's obviously one of his lines from back in season 7, but at the same time, there's a deeper meaning behind it because he's just trying to get himself to open up and remember who he used to be. Something along those lines. But that's pretty much it. That's everything that they released for this teaser. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to share and smash the like button. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community and press the bell to be notified when we upload. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.